want to say that going back and playing Nintendo Switch games like at the end of the Nintendo Switch life cycle is an interesting experience. I played Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, I guess, when it launched, and it was a fun enough experience for like the short amount of time, but like going through and playing it for the 2.5 hours this morning, it really did change the way that I experienced that game. When that game first came out, I mean, on the Switch, I was like, this is great, this is fun, this is exciting. As I know this morning, I was playing it with this, which has been a really interesting experience. It wasn't like the greatest, but the throwing mechanic and the gimmick that was, toss the ball, catch the, like that, it did hold up. Like it, not only did it hold up, but it ended up being more fun than I think was originally experienced. And that for me is something that I definitely think comes with time. I don't think that game would have been as fun the first time around because we didn't have Sword, we didn't have Scarlet, we didn't have Violet, all those Diamond, and playing those other ones for the short amounts I have, I realized that the later in the life cycle of the Nintendo Switch, the more enjoyable some games are. So I think that with the Nintendo Switch 2 dropping here shortly, just in a couple weeks from this time, I think that the backwards compatibility that we have in the Nintendo Switch 2 is going to bring life to games that we had either already played or didn't fully really invest in upon playing, like getting it for the first time. I know for me, that is one of the biggest draws to the Nintendo Switch 2 is the fact that the actual device itself is breathing life into this library that I have developed over the past 7 years, right? It's a modest library compared to some other people's, but that library is going to be taken care of. The backwards compatibility is my favorite feature of the Nintendo Switch 2. And going through and playing through a game like Let's Go Pikachu, which again is considered one of the sillier entries, maybe not even the best entry on the Nintendo Switch, but I for one, I appreciate it. I enjoy it. I mean, I made a joke already about the fact that the song, I want to be the very best that no one ever was, right? To catch them is my real test, to train them is my cause. Like that's Let's Go Pikachu. Let's Go Pikachu, you're literally just out there catching Pokemon and training them, right? But you're out there catching Pokemon. And so this experience with this game is one that I'm having in 2025, right? This is a first time, I would say. I think I'm actually just as far as I was the first time I played it. And the experience is so unbelievably charming, but it's because I'm willing to go back and play through some of the titles that I had originally purchased for the Nintendo Switch 1 back when the Nintendo Switch 1 was releasing titles and going through its thing. Now in Nintendo Switch 2 era, I'm looking to see how they upgrade certain games, because it seems like they're releasing games and releasing a list of more and more games that are going to be upgraded, right? We have Pokemon series that's going to be upgraded. We have other titles that are going to be upgraded. We have, Link's Awakening, as well as Zelda. What's her game called? I forgot the name of her game. But her game's getting updated. Like, these games are going to get the actual care that we all want them to get, because they deserve that care. And I know that when I got the OLED itself was a great machine when it launched, and it breathed life into some of the titles just by it being an OLED display. I just recently picked up the PlayStation 5 Pro, and I'm going back and playing Ratchet & Clank, and Ratchet & Clank is a more exciting game because of those updates. And I think what I'm learning from all of these different things is, at the end of the day, the games that we have are screaming at us. Play me, enjoy me, have fun with me. Enjoy this experience. Echoes of Wisdom. Thanks, Justin. Have this experience with me. And I think that maybe there has been kind of the lost art of play, where some of these games have, fallen off because we purchased them, either started them, never finished them, didn't enjoy the experience on first. But games still, I going back and playing one of the, when did Let's Go Pikachu come out? Because I feel like it was as close to a launch title as we can get with a Pokemon game. But Let's Go Pikachu comes out, and I'm playing it here 2025, and I'm like, this is just such a charming experience. It's low key, playing it on a Sasquatch Saturday, right? Community day, just real mellow, real exciting. Like this is the way that I strive to play video games. It's one that I want to share with my daughter. My daughter's gonna love this game. She's gonna have so much fun playing this game, and that's the joy of I think not just the Nintendo Switch, but the Nintendo Switch library. It has a specific charm about it that is just inviting. It invites you in, that you want to play some of their titles, and the best part about it is they hold up and they age well. I mean, Nintendo games as a whole, I feel like have aged pretty well, but with the specific Switch 2 and the Switch 1 stuff happening, I feel like the actual games themselves are aging well and are being ushered into this new cycle. Now, some would say that this new cycle of the Switch 2, like there's not much there for them. And so they're bringing their old titles with them. And, other consoles have done the same. But for me, I'm looking at this and I'm going like, no, this is a really, really fun time for us to not just share games with our families, share games with our kids, share games with friends, but also like experience the games that we forgot about. And so I encourage anyone out there who has a library that is, just sitting there, that has kind of been collecting dust, has been not really doing its, you're just looking at it, and you're like, oh yeah, there's plenty of games I haven't played yet. Go back, pick a few games, pick like 2 or 3 games that you haven't played yet, and are like, you know what, I'm gonna wait for the Switch 2 to drop if you're getting one. If you're not, then you don't have to wait. But I'm gonna wait for the Switch 2 to drop. And these are some of the titles that I want to go and experience for either the first time or for the first time again, right? I want to come back to Breath of the Wild, get some of those updates. If you have the Nintendo Switch Online service, then of course it's included, but then you might have to purchase it. Or I want to go back and have some fun with Mario Odyssey, Super Mario, what is it, 3D World, 3D Land with Bowser's Fury, whatever it may be. I want to go back and enjoy these games again and have that experience, have that updated whatever, and just feel that charm. Because that's really what this is all about, is that like that little hit of nostalgia, that little warm hug, that little nuzzle up of nostalgia. What that does is it gives you, it just tickles a little, right? It's that comfort. It's that hug from a friend. It's that whisper in the ear of like, I got you, dude. Like that sounded really, really weird. But you know what I'm talking about, dude. You know what I'm talking about. Like, it's just that really nice, warm feeling. And I would say that playing through the beginnings of the Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu over these past, few hours this morning, like in between my 2 cups of coffee, like I feel that. You get lost in it. You forget for a moment. I know I did. You forget that you're playing a game that is over half a decade old. You're playing a title that was released on a piece of hardware that was outdated on launch. You're playing through a franchise that's been around for 30 plus years or 20 plus years. How long has it been around for? I mean, 30 actually. It's got to be. I've been around for 30 at this point. It's been around for 30 plus years. You're enjoying this game, or maybe it's less. And you're like, there's just something so great about this. There's something so unbelievably charming and warm, and like this is the feeling that I strive to experience as much as I can, and it's something that I find with Nintendo, whereas someone else may find that with Xbox, and someone else may find that with PC gaming, PlayStation. I can go on and on and on to include everybody. We all have that thing, and I want to know from you guys, like, what is that thing? What is that game that you sit down with? Pokemon for me isn't necessarily the biggest of that, but it is one of them because they grew up playing it. But what is that game for you guys that when you sit down to play it, you boot it up, you're like, oh my gosh, this is that feeling. This is that like really good, like warm hug of a game. Because I, for one, I run to Mario games, I run to Zelda games. Like, I think that right now in gaming, with all the different things coming out, whether it's the big games that you enjoy like Doom, or it's the smaller games that you enjoy like Sea of Stars, whatever it may be, there is still the comfort game. Sea of Stars doesn't do it for me, right? I play that game, I love it, but I still would run back to Super Mario World, run back to, Link's Awakening, play through that on my Mod Retro Chromatic, whatever it may be. Like, I run to those games to experience that fun feel. I want to know what you guys do. I want to know what games you guys experience. I want you to share that with me so that I can try them out, so I can experience those stories. I want you to share those stories with me, right? In the comments. I want to hear these things, because gaming is a community-based endeavor. I believe it to be. I think gaming as a community is far more exciting than gaming alone. That's why I stream. That's why I make these videos. That's why I do all these things, because I feel like community-wise, gaming has a special language. It's a special thing. It's a special fun thing that we get to do together. And as someone who has been building out this incredible community of people playing video games, we have everyone from PC gamers all the way down to retro consoles, like real, not like fake retro consoles, which people call emulation devices, but like real people who are playing on Game Boys, people who are playing on N64s, like everyone from that all the way up to the PC gamer. Like, we are all doing the same thing. We're playing video games, we're enjoying video games, and we're sharing stories with each other about that over on Discord, right? These are the things that I think the gaming community, specifically, we got to see how strong how strong of a community gaming was back in 2021, when everyone was having to figure out how we could keep interacting with each other when we were trying to do something that was a little bit different in the world. Gamers were like, we do this all the time. We have our communities built online. I mean, we have friends, we have family, we have everybody. We do this online. We have buddies that we play with every day, the boys. We drop in with the boys all the time. Like, why is it, this isn't any different, right? And I think that there's something special there that I've experienced over these past couple of years of really diving deeper and deeper into gaming. It's that gaming as a whole has this kind of underlying theme, and that theme is we all started somewhere. We all started with something. We may be playing something different now, but we all started somewhere. And every time we are given an opportunity to experience that again, all of us run to that to say, I want to feel that again, right? I have this theory that gaming as a whole, there's no such thing as the perfect game, because the perfect game has already been created. It is impossible. They will never be able, for you, the gamer, to be able to release the perfect game. Not in 2025, and certainly not in 2030. Gaming will never do it, because the perfect game was played by you between the ages of 8 and 12 years old. That was the perfect game, maybe 16 years old. Because now, if you think about it, I want you to do this as a mental exercise. Think about it. Let me know in the chat if you're live. Let me know in the comments if you're watching this afterwards. I want you to think about it. Is there a game that when you play a game today, you go like, oh man, this reminds me of that fill in the blank? I'm always doing this. I'm always like, this reminds me of my favorite whatever, because the perfect game has already been not only created, but experienced by you. And I think that maybe people are trying to hold on to the idea of like the perfect game, we're going to get another one. We will never get another perfect game. It just will never happen. But what we will get is glimpses and salutes to an era in gaming where we have enjoyed gaming the most. Because the perfect game maybe happened at a time where responsibilities were low. I didn't have kids, didn't have a wife, didn't even think about dating. I was playing games, I was playing video games with my boys, my fun, having a good time. Heading over to the buddy's house after school and playing games until whenever, however long, calling mom, hey, can I stay here overnight? Yeah, sure, whatever, make sure you go to school on time. Like, that's the perfect game. And we just will never get that again. But that's okay, because we don't need to get that again. We don't need a perfect game again. What we need is we need to have those moments where we get to remember. We need to have those games that we play through and we're like, oh, I remember when. Because those memories can't be recreated. It's just not going to happen. Responsibilities are high. Risks, everything's high, right? And so that kind of thing for me is something I think about. I've thought about a lot lately. And Justin Gray says we'll never get another game like StarCraft 1. Making Bacon Pancakes says only Pokemon Game Boy games and Link to the Past. My personal favorites are Final Fantasy X and Kingdom Hearts. And we've got someone who's pushing back. Talk to Die says I sort of disagree. I played a game recently that was perfect, at least perfect for me. And hey, I'm not going to say that it wasn't. Expedition 33 was as close to perfect as any game I've played. That's right. But was it close to perfect because you're like, this is so awesome? Or was it close to perfect because it reminded you of games that you've played that have changed your life? Expedition 33 for me is a game that I think is incredible because it reminds me of Elden Ring. It reminds me of Final Fantasy X. It reminds me of the crazy story nature of a game that some people don't even like, BioShock Infinite. It reminds me of that. Now, the game itself may be a really cool experience, but that experience is on the backs of a foundation of gaming that has been established in our brains and our minds and our hearts as gamers, right? I wish for the first time that I could experience something like when I played Super Mario 64 for the first time. I don't think I will ever feel that again, because what Mario 64 did was one thing that gaming hasn't been able to do since that experience. It made the impossible possible. This is something I don't think happens as often. I think that good, fun gaming exists. I think that games that Elden Ring blew my mind. I was not expecting to love that game as much as I loved it. I didn't like Elden Ring. I loved Elden Ring. But it didn't do anything new, right? It just took something I already liked and said, hey, how about we change it a little bit? Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, these games didn't just excite me. Paper Mario even. These are all games on the Nintendo 64, mind you, because the Nintendo 64 was such a powerful thing for me. These were games that took me and go, I can't believe this exists. I can't believe I live in a world where this is happening, right? And that, for me, I don't think is going to happen again. Now, that doesn't mean that enjoyment doesn't happen. Enjoyment, of course, happens, right? We love games. We enjoy games. We play games. We go, this is incredible. As I said, Elden Ring was one of, if not the greatest gaming experiences I've had in my adult life. I adored that experience. But I can't deny the fact that I adored that experience because it was like a Zelda game that I have always wanted. And if I would have never experienced the Zelda game before, the experience of Elden Ring would not have been enhanced to the level it was, because that experience I had with Zelda was one I was chasing. I was chasing Ocarina of Time again. I was chasing Breath of the Wild for the first time. I was chasing some of these games, and Elden Ring was giving me the thrill of the chase and the dopamine release of what if we just experienced it for the first time again. But neither of which were necessarily true, and they would have not existed without the games that have come before. It's kind of like how we as adults, at least a lot of us elder emos, listen to music that we listened to in high school. Like that's our playlist. You look at our playlist, I got My Chemical Romance, Atreyu, Under Oath, Bleeding Through, A Day to Remember. I mean, we're talking Taking Back Sunday if I want to get a little bit more sensitive, right? If I want to get a little bit quirky, I go Panic at the Disco. I mean, I'm talking about things that came out in 2005, 2007, dude. I was in high school. I was a sophomore, junior in high school, dude. And so I'm listening to music now and I'm like, oh, this is great. I love it. But it's because of, right? And I feel like gaming for us, when you have the realization that you like things because of, and you stop searching for the thing that's going to be like, oh, this is going to be the greatest thing ever. You go like, I just want to enjoy games that are in that wheelhouse. I've started to enjoy games more and more once I've released gaming industry from providing me with an experience that would be new. Linkin Park, for sure. Oh, of course, right? I no longer expect the gaming industry to give me anything new. With the Nintendo Switch 2, I do not want Nintendo to give me anything new. So why the Nintendo Switch 2 is so perfect for me is because they're not doing anything new. They're going, we know what you like. We're going to give you more what you like. That is exactly what I want with the Nintendo Switch 2. I don't want any other gimmicks. The mouse gimmick is okay, but I'm not looking forward to it to any degree. This is going to be fun to mess around with, but I'm really not looking forward to it because I've accepted the fact that gaming, all of this as a hobby, as an experience, has hit its maximum threshold of newness. And then at this point, I want really good iteration. Innovation, usually, and it feels like we want innovation. I want iteration. I want them to actually start doing things that are good. I think that Expedition 33 is an iteration. They say, hey, what if we took turn-based combat? We added action elements to it, which is not uncommon. We have action elements in Sea of Stars, in Super Mario RPG, in games like this. This isn't uncommon. What if we also added dodge mechanics, which is the same as an action element because you can dodge in Super Mario RPG, a game that was released on the Super Nintendo in the 90s, partnered with Square, or I think it was Enix at the time. I could be wrong. It's one of the two because they were separate. Squaresoft and Enix. Now it's Square Enix. I think it was Enix. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But they go, well, then what if we also added a parry mechanic, which is, again, not innovation, but iteration. Gaming as we see it now is at a spot where iteration actually can do a lot more than the idea of innovation, right? Innovation. You want innovation? The portable PC market. Innovative, right? Are they new? No, but it is innovative. Taking the experience handheld for PC gaming. That concept, right? That concept, incredible concept. Iterative, taking innovation, the Nintendo Switch 2, taking a console and handheld and putting it together. Innovation. Iteration, the Nintendo Switch 2, right? I might have said 2 before I meant Nintendo Switch. 2, taking what's already good and making it better. Bigger display, better performance, more ergonomic handheld form factor because it's bigger as a whole unit. Better, right? These types of things, I think, are what the gaming industry needs right now. More than ever. We need companies to understand that they have the goods already. They need to invest in them, right? And I like the fact that the Nintendo Switch 2 goes, you got a library to play. You got plenty of things to do. Just keep doing it on better hardware. Sound good? And I'm like, yeah, heck yeah, that's all I wanted. I didn't want you to get crazy. Because when you guys get crazy, you get weird. When you get weird, it doesn't usually pan out. You hit it out of the park with the freaking Nintendo Switch 1. I don't need a Wii U situation. Let's just crush with this. Cool? So that's what they're doing. So I'm going to read some of the chats here because we're live. But as far as this part's concerned, this is going to be going up on YouTube. So I'm going to shut it down and say play more and be kind. Cheers.